So, in March this year, I swapped my two Nikon D850s with 6 prime and zoom fast lenses for this, the FujiFilm GFX100s with some lenses. Mrs. Long doesn't know how many lenses, and let's just say I don't have enough fingers to furtively show you. I recently wrote a blog on my website about how I ditched the Nikon equipment in favour of Fujifilm. It's a good read. I suggest you go and have a look at it after you've watched this video. But you'll learn a bit more about me on the blog, and you'll see how I used Nikon equipment for 30 years. But as you'll find out by reading the blog on my website, which you can visit after watching this video, things had to change. And apparently so did I. You see, I loved how the images came out of the GFX as soon as I'd got it. And I'm so completely sold on the look and feel of the Fujifilm that I actually bought an XS10 as a vlogging and scouting camera. And now, apparently, I'm becoming an old hipster. I own 2 day hats. I'm not joking. I own 2 hats. Now you may say, hipster hat, but no, this is Neil being sensible, because my ever-expanding bald patch, big nose and big ears really do actually need protecting from the sun. And at approaching 50 years old, baseball caps just don't cut it in all situations, and they don't cover my ears or my neck when it's really sunny. Climate change and all that, isn't it? So back to the camera. How does it handle? Well, let's go for a drive and we'll see. Come on, let's go. So I've been driving to, from and around North Wales for more years than I care to remember. See, my main house is in the Midlands of England, but I'm also incredibly fortunate enough to have a small cottage in North Wales. Now, one of North Wales's amazing gems is the Island of Anglesey. And it's got so many just picturesque places to visit, activities and locations just to go to. And beaches, oh my God, the beaches. Well anyway, one of the gems of Anglesey is a place called St Cywfans Church, popularly known as the Little Church in the Sea, and for good reason. At one point, St Cywfans and the land that it stands on was actually attached to the mainland, but over the years, through erosion, it got separated to become the little island that it is now. In around 1893, the stone seawall that you can see around the island was built. And this is because the tiny island was being relentlessly battered by waves during the storms and during the winter. And graves started disappearing into the sea. Plop! Bon voyage, Granny! So let's talk about the handling of the GFX100s. See, it's not much different in size to a D850, but it does feel slimmer. But the lenses, they're probably on par with fast Nikon glass. But somehow Fujifilm have shoehorned some incredibly clever stabilisation into these lenses. And considering that, the size and weight of these lenses is actually quite remarkable. So for my personal requirements, I've fitted a Peak Design hand strap, and I'll also strap it down onto a monopod. Even when the stabilisation's on, it's not that it's any more cumbersome or awkward to handle the GFX, it's just that, you know, you're using a medium format, and to that end, it's almost like you feel as though you should give the images that were taken a bit more reverence. And that's no bad thing in today's Instagram, upload and forget about culture. Which brings me to the next point, 102 megapixel sensor. Now, a couple of years ago, I could only dream of owning a medium format digital system. They were just beyond the reach of a regular Joe like me. Insane prices, and yet every year, just like any other digital system, they were superseded by something bigger and better. Imagine saving up tens of thousands of pounds to buy your dream camera system, only for it to be superseded by something bigger and better a few months later. No. But do you really need a 100 megapixel camera, Neil? Well, no, of course not. If all you're wanting to do is take an amazing picture, upload it to Instagram and forget about it, then no, of course not. But if you're like me and you actually like to offer prints of the images that you take, then yeah, absolutely. I mean, straight out of the camera, no dicking around in software, no manipulation, the images that come out of the GFX are 3 feet long. 3 feet. Before messing around, that's more than half of me. The resolution, detail and dynamic range of this camera are just off the scale. Are you starting to get an idea of how much I really like this camera? And then there's the lenses. Oh my, the lenses. So when I'm shooting a portrait of somebody and you're trying to capture the essence of somebody in 2 dimensions, I like to shoot wide open, f2 or more. And this is where the clever people of Fujifilm have employed the dark arts, or maybe they've sold their souls to the devil, I don't know, because the results you get at f2 or wider on these lenses is, that's all I can say, yes, There is, of course, a tightrope to walk. When you're shooting a medium format with a wide open lens, the focal plane is minuscule. So I'm doing a series of portraits at the moment, and I won't show you the whole portrait at the moment because, you know, that will be revealed later, but just have a quick look at what a couple of millimeters difference makes between a focus. And now look, when you capture that sweet spot, I don't know what to say, but the fall off and the creaminess of those, you know, the bokeh of that lens, and when you've got that focus just right, just on the eye, yeah, absolutely. So the question is, now that I run with a Fujifilm system, am I becoming an aging hipster? Maybe, just a little. Do I care? No, not at all. I love the system, and like I say, being able to actually own a medium format digital system now, it's just fantastic. So look, I really hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, do me the solid of pressing that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you think your friends and followers might enjoy this video, some of the other ones I've done and some in the future, then please share it. And thank you so much. Thanks for paying attention, and I will see you again in the very near future. Thank you.